Stories for the rain.
He came up out of the woods near my house wearing a cloak and was walking around for a whole day. By u/user072106. I want to start off this post by saying I was between the ages of say 10 to 12 when this happened. I don't remember exactly what year it was. I'm in high school now, so this was a few years ago. At my old apartment building complex, the parking lot was a circle. There was a staircase off of the parking lot down to a cement platform where kids could play, do sidewalk chalk, sports, etc. Cracked asphalt led through the woods to the other side of the neighborhood, which was regular single-family homes. One day, a man walked out of the woods and up both flights of stairs. He was wearing a full-body, black, Grim Reaper-style cloak and was making circles around the parking lot. My mom, who was a single mom, made the wise decision not to run any errands until he had left. Hours passed. 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m. The cloaked man was still there, looping the parking lot. By this time, the sun was setting, and my dad came to pick me up after dinner to go to his house. When we got back, guess who was still there? The cloaked man. The sky was black, and the cloaked man was shrouded in darkness. Our HOA sucked, and all the streetlights were burned out. Our headlights illuminated him as we drove by. I saw him more clearly this time. His head bowed, the cloak completely covering his face. Hours had passed, and by the time I went to bed, the cloaked man was still wandering. He had been wandering the parking lot for the entire day. When I tell you this man was walking for at least 12 hours, this would not even be an exaggeration. And luckily, when I woke up the next day, he was gone without a trace. And I never saw him again. Random Man in the Woods by u/ES McGuire 3. Okay, so I remember another story for you. But it happened to my husband, and fiancé at the time. We used to live in a neighborhood that had a dirt trail that ran behind several neighborhoods, ending up at a pathed wooded area that led into a shopping center. My husband and I would run it together sometimes with 2 of our dogs, and he would also run it alone as well with 1. One day he was running it with our dog, Lily, who was a pit lab mix, about 60 pounds, when he hits the paved part of the run. All of a sudden, this big Rottweiler comes out of nowhere and charges them while snarling. My husband was able to react quick and kick the dog right in the face, and it sent him sprawling. Lily started to square up because, while she loves dogs, she isn't afraid to go after one that isn't friendly. So as the Rottweiler's starting to get up and getting his feet right, my husband starts dragging Lily away back to the dirt trail to get home. As he's doing this, he noticed a man standing roughly 10 feet off the paved path in the woods. Just standing there, watching everything unfold. Not calling his dog back, not saying a damned word. Just standing there. It was probably about 6'2" and largely built. Luckily, my husband got back unharmed and told me what happened. First thing that came to my mind was, that's suspicious as fuck. We called the police and drove down to the shopping center. I took a bat just in case, but Basically, my logic was I didn't want anybody going down the path until the police searched it. All in all, it probably took my husband 10 minutes to get home after the encounter, and 5 minutes to drive there. But the guy was gone, as was his dog. I stopped a lady and her dog from going down to the paved path, and came across 2 men pushing a baby stroller and warned them as well. I couldn't imagine that poor dog or baby being mauled. In my mind, this dude was up to no good. There's no reason to unleash your dog there, especially one that isn't trained. And there's absolutely no reason to be lurking in the woods 10 feet off the path. I definitely feel he was hoping his dog would distract someone and then he could attack them and they would never see it coming. I don't know what he wanted, but I can tell you he was not expecting my husband to kick his dog in the face and send it sprawling, or for him to have a dog ready to square the fuck up against his. Police searched, but like I said, he was gone. So they just issued an alert throughout the area to be careful and not walk or run alone. To the campground owner. By you/pepticturtle. Years ago, me, my family, and family friends would go camping at some cabins in Lake Placid, New York. And despite what happened that weekend, the campground holds very fond memories for me that I will cherish forever. The incident happened 4th of July weekend. My family was grilling, and me and my friends, children at the time, were running around and playing cops and robbers. While we played, the campground owner came over to my parents and offered to pay for some food. My parents, being nice, gave him food and beer for free. Eventually, the owner overstayed his welcome and was asked to leave by my friend's dad. This angered him, and he took off his shirt trying to fight him. None of us were aware that he was an alcoholic and was already drunk when he asked for food and beer. They eventually got him to leave, but after a while he came back, this time with his rifle. As me and my friends played, he walked around drunkenly trying to load the rifle. One of my friends, being an innocent kid, walked over to him and asked what he was doing. The owner said, "I'm going to show your dad something." One of the adults saw this and rushed over. My friend's dad took the rifle from his hands and threw it across the parking lot, screaming at him that there were kids around. At this point, I knew something bad was happening, and I rushed all of my friends over to inside our cabin. At this point, my dad called the police and was recording the whole thing. The police eventually came and arrested him. For the night, the campground owner tried to claim he had never had a rifle, even though we had him caught on video saying, "Give me my rifle." Police came back the next morning and let us file a temporary restraining order while we stayed the weekend. While this is an incident my family laughs at from time to time, I can't help but wonder what would have happened if he had gotten that rifle loaded. So, campground owner, let's not meet. Hello there, YouTube. Stormy here. I hope you enjoyed tonight's story. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below what you liked about it. And if there are any more stories that you would like me to do, make sure to comment those down below as well, and I will be more than glad to check them out. Now, you folks have a wonderful night, and I hope to see you in the next video. If we all survive.